Hello, Jacko! In today's video, I'll show you how to make a glitch effect in DaVinci Resolve and make it into a template. So if you want to know how to do that, follow along and let's get digital. So the effect that we'll be making can look something like this, but before we do, I should let you know that if you go to Effects, type in Glitch and go to the Effects tab, you will have the digital glitch effect that you can apply to a clip. I just don't know if this is studio only or if it also comes in the free version of DaVinci Resolve. This is how this effect looks like. So we'll make something similar but with a lot less nodes, and if we go to the Inspector tab, Effects, this is what you can change in this template. So you can change the position, the glitch width and height, and the chroma scale. Now this is not a template yet, but I'll show you how to make it. What I will do is I will make the effect in a new Fusion composition. I will not be making it on an actual clip. So go to the media pool, right click, make a new Fusion composition, give it a name if you want. Once you have it, when you click create, you will simply put the Fusion composition onto the timeline, select it. You may also need to position the playhead over this Fusion composition, and then you can go into the Fusion page. Now inside the Fusion page, you only have a media out. If you don't have any media clips in yet, you won't see any of them in the media pool, so you can put some clips in the media pool and then drag them down. Alternatively, you can also grab any clip that you want and simply put it inside. And this will automatically put it also in the media pool. Now the clip that I'll work with will be this one. Now we have the media in node, which is the clip connected to the media out, which is what we'll be seeing in the edit page. The main node that we need to make this effect is called Displace. Open Select Tools with Shift Space, type in Displace. Use this one, Displace, not the 3D one. We'll connect it. So with the Displace node added, nothing has changed. I have to also display it. Currently media 1 is displayed. So press to display the Displace. We don't see any changes. The only change that will be visible is if you change the light power. We won't be using this option, but if you want, this is what it does. The change that we'll be making is in the settings. You need to disable one channel, so red, green or blue. Currently nothing happens. We need to add a mask, so I will disable the red channel. And for a mask, I'll just simply use a rectangle node, and it won't be connected to the mask. This will be connected as a foreground. So this is what it does by default. So if we go to the Displace node and set the offset, this is what that can look like. This is what the refraction strength does. Now if you add the light power, as you can see, it now affects only the rectangle, so that is why we won't be using it. And if you use the spread, it kind of blends it in, so don't have a sharp edge. So this is what I have also used, maybe something like this. Now if you go back to the settings and enable one channel or disable one of them, this is what you can get. So you get yellow and blue, green and magenta, or red and teal. So this is how you can make the effect. Now it doesn't look like a glitch effect yet, so we need to make some inputs. At the top we'll have some random shapes that are moving instead of this rectangle. So I will disconnect this rectangle for now. Open two views, display the rectangle on the left side, make it smaller, like so. What you want to do is go to the center, right click, modify width, and either use the shake modifier or the perturb. I will use the perturb one. When the modifier tab shows up, you can select it if you use the perturb value, I suggest you adjust the wobble and the speed, maybe also the strength. This makes it more random. If you lower these values down, the animation is smooth, which is not glitch-like. You can also adjust the strength if you want. This will mean how far this will move. But if you adjust the strength, we have a lot of blank screen, which is not what you want. You may need to adjust the scale in that case, so you have the object visible more of the time. So you have some options how you can approach this so the object is visible most of the time. Now what I'll do, I'll copy the rectangle 2 times, like so. I'll go to the second rectangle and display it. I will change the shape of it, but what I need to do now is go to the modifiers and change the random seed. Otherwise, these 2 elements will have the same position and move to the same position all the time, which is not what you want if you want some randomness. I'll do the same with the third rectangle, change the size and change the random seed. So we now should have something that is very random, which we do. Now what you need to do now is add the transfer node, connect it, but not as a mask, connect it to the yellow input. I'll display it. And what you need to change here is change the edges from canvas to, let's see, mirror. So you have a lot of them. We don't see any changes yet. So let me maybe scale this down so you can see what it does. Now you will probably want to scale this up so you only see a few elements, not all of them. Now we'll see how this looks like. Maybe I'll just leave it to canvas for now. And what I'll do is between here I will add a mirror node, also connect it to the background. Now what this does is it mirrors the elements. And you can make some nice looking shapes that are totally random, and you can have up to 6 mirrors in a node. You just have to enable them and adjust the angles. Now this is where the transfer node comes in. You'll want to increase the size. Let's see what this gives us. So this gives us a nice looking glitch effect, which will be a glitch effect. It is not just yet. The only thing that we need to do is connect it to the displace node. Now if I just show you what this looks like. So it can look something like this. It does look like a glitch effect, but we want to spice it up just a little bit. And to do that, we'll use a fast noise node. If I display it on the left side. So this is how the fast noise looks by default. What I'll change is the contrast and lower the brightness. Increase the scale. I've used 10. And I also want this to be animated. As you can see, when I play the clip, the fast noise is static, so I want to animate it. I'll simply adjust the seed rate. Since this will be a glitch effect, I'll use 0.5 as the seed rate. You can use a lower value to make the animation slower, or higher one if you want to speed it up. You can also use the discontinuous and inverted option. But what you need to do is go to the color tab and change the alpha of this one to 1. So you just have the blacks and whites. And no transparency. Now to get actual shapes into the video, what you need to do is use a mosaic blur. Now you do have a lot of blur options, but the one that works the best is the mosaic blur. So this is what you need to use. Displayed on the left side, this is what it looks by default. I will be changing the pixel frequency, so maybe I'll use 10 pixels. As you can see, this also changes how big the size is. So I think a size between 10 and 30 looks the best, so maybe I'll just use 20, a happy middle ground, and you can change the cell shape. The effect that you can use in the edit page, also inside here, You'll also find it inside the effects. If you type in glitch, go to templates, and you have the digital glitch. As you can see, this is a template that we saw in the edit page. You can double click on it because this was saved as a group, and you can see how the effect is made. Now in the mosaic blur, the option that they have used is also 20 pixels, and they set the border type to black. I'll see what the default value is. Anyway, what I wanted to show you is that you don't need to use the square, you can use a hexagon or a triangle, which I think are the better options when it comes to a glitch effect. Now let's take a look at the advanced controls. I don't really see the black option that we see here for the border type, so I guess this mosaic blur is a custom node, but in any case, what you want to do, let me zoom in. As you can see, we have some jagged edges, which we don't have if you use a square, because you just have straight lines, which is not the case if you use a hexagon or a triangle. So in this case, you want to enable the anti-aliasing result. And if you use the aliasing, let me zoom out. This is what this changes. But what you want is just a few elements, not all of them to be super visible. So that is why in the fast noise, you adjust the brightness to be low, and you adjust the contrast, so you can also lower it. You don't need to be fully visible. So maybe I'll use a value of 2. Now, do we need anything else? I think we need a transform node. But actually, this has to be connected to the media in, and then we connect this as a mask. Now, when the transfer node is set to default values, nothing will happen. So let's scale this up. We do see some changes. They are being affected by the rectangle. Not exactly what we wanted. Now, why is that? Let's go maybe to the fast noise, go to image, and this is the problem in this example. We have a 4K footage, and the resolution here is set to 2K. So if I set the resolution here, this should fix it. So 384 by 2160. But you should not be doing this. So let's enable the auto resolution back. Maybe use another transfer node and connect this one to this one. So ideally what you should do when you do the effect in a fusion composition is use a clip that has the same resolution as the timeline resolution, which in this case would be this one. If I use I, as you can see, it has the same resolution. This one has 4K. So that when the auto resolution is enabled, this will automatically scale it to the clip that you apply the effect to. If you uncheck this, this will always use the resolution that you set here. So this is why I don't want to set the resolution manually. So I will simply change the clip to this one. So the transform is now displayed on the left side. You'll want to change the position down maybe. Change the edges to, let's say, duplicate for now, just so we can see the difference. But we don't see this effect being applied as a mask. Now, why is that? We'll have to go to the transfer node and go to the settings and change the channel from alpha to one of the other channels. And now we have the effect that we made with fast noise and mosaic blur applied here. Now, as you can see, we have some lines here. This is what the duplicate method does. So if I disable this and go to alpha again, so these are the lines that are visible. So if you change the mode to wrap or maybe mirror, you won't have any lines visible. But now it just depends how you want the effect to look like. And you can also tone it down by using the blend option. So maybe in this case I want this to be wrap. In the transfer node you can scale this down, but as you can see, not by much. What can we also do? maybe in the fast noise, we can adjust the contrast so you can see inside the elements a bit better. So you can use contrast at 5 and then set the blend mode and lower it down, maybe to 0.7, and that should pretty much be for the effect. You can always come back to the mirror modifier and make the adjustments. Maybe scale it down a little bit. Now what you can also do is maybe after the mosaic blur you want to add some kind of other blur. Let's see which one could we use. Maybe the prism blur. Display it. So with the prism blur and maybe also other types of blur, you can turn this into liquid kind of shapes. So it matches the displays if you adjust the spread. Now the only thing that you need to do to turn this into a template is select all of the nodes except the media in and the media out and select them in order that you want to make changes to. In this case I've just selected all of them at once, so I have no idea how they'll be positioned. Right click on one of the nodes, macro make one, then you can select each individual node so you can see what changes you've made to it, and then you have to decide what you want to be able to change inside the edit page. So in this case, what would I want to change? Maybe in the mosaic blur I would want to be able to change the cell shape. So I would find the mosaic blur and enable cell shape, find cell shape, enable it. You can also change the name, what this will say inside the edit page. And if it is any other setting that you want to be able to adjust, you'll also want to enable that. In this case, I will maybe also want to enable the anti-aliasing result. In case the shape is selected as rectangle, I don't need it, so I would disable it to make it a little bit easier on the PC. So you would go over all of the nodes that you want to be able to adjust in the edit page, and once you have all of the settings checked, you will go to File, Save as Group. Why you use Save as Group is because if you want to go back into the Fusion composition later on, you'll simply be able to double click, as I have done with this built-in Fusion glitch effect, and make some changes. Now we'll go to Fusion, Templates, Edit. If you don't have these folders already, you'll have to make them, and we will put this to the effects because we just want to have the effect and apply it to any clip that we want inside the edit page. So effects, and this would be, let's say, glitch effect tutorial and 1. Save it. Now you don't need to close this yet, because if you go to the edit page, you can still make some changes, so you don't have to click everything again. Now I will take this video, which is 4K, and apply the new glitch effect, which previously, as you saw, it did not work because the mask was applied only in the middle. Now, if you don't see the glitch effect that you just made, you'll have to restore DaVinci Resolve. I will apply this effect now. And let's see how it looks like. Now in this case, it doesn't look the best, as I see now, because we have a sharp line in the middle, which is not what I had in this example. I just have to disable this effect. So don't have any sharp line here, as you can see. Now what could the issue be? So let me apply this effect again. Go to the Fusion page. As you can see, I can now make the changes because I can open it. Now the last change that I've made was this one. Let's see if I change the position. Yep, this is the line that I'm moving. So I have to change the edge wrap to maybe duplicate. So you have to use duplicate to get the best result. The mirror option could maybe also work, as you can see, but the wrap is not the one that you want. Now because I made the changes to the effect in a new clip, I can't really save it again because this will not have the same options. But if I just go inside and see transform to, can I change what the method is inside the transform to? So this would be edges. So let's see if we have the edges property. We do. So default, this will be value 1. So indexes start with 0, so this is 0, 1, 2, and 3. And the duplicate option that I wanted is number 2. So if I now save this as a new template, or just override the old one, so I will save it over this one. And I will apply it to the same clip, just a new one. And we should now not have any lines in the middle, and we don't. And this is how you can make a simple glitch effect in DaVinci Resolve. If you found the video helpful and would like to see more DaVinci Resolve content, subscribe to the channel. I'm Simon, and until next time, Jackal, keep it digital.